Hey guys, what do we have here in front of us right here? Well, it's a lamb carcass. Lamb carcasses are pretty simple to evaluate. Once again, when we're looking at how much percent sellable product, we need to know how much of that hot carcass weight is coming from back fat versus muscling. And so when we're looking at lamb carcasses, they're a little bit different compared to the two other species. But once again, we did rib them between the 12th and 13th rib. I allowed this about a 20-minute bloom time, once again, to allow that cherry red to blossom, to make it really nice and pretty, as you can see right here. A really nice, ideal cherry red color here with this carcass. And when we take into account for percent sellable product, we're going to be looking at external fat. We're going to be looking at body wall. What does that mean? Well, here is my ribeye, as mentioned. And in this particular case, we're going to measure at the halfway mark of that ribeye. So what does that mean? Well, I just identify my main area of interest. I just cut that in half, and that's where I'm going to actually make my measurement, and then I'll take an average of the two. Why take an average of the two? Well, sometimes on that processing floor or that kill floor, when we're removing the wool, sometimes there'll be a little bit more fat that may be pulled off on one side versus the other. I do the best I can to be as fair as possible because I understand that that's not the exhibitor's fault. And so I personally would make adjustments for that. Then, not only do we account for external fat or back fat, opposite of that ribeye, but we're also going to take into account body wall. So the body wall actually starts 5 inches from the medial portion of that backbone, or I'll just take my ruler right in that center, and then I will measure 5 inches out. And so as you can see right along here, this is roughly the 5-inch mark, or it is the 5-inch mark, and I'm going to measure the width of that body wall, but I'm going to include the rib as well. That's all part of that USDA formula that I keep mentioning because it's all pretty much the same. Once I take that into account, I'll take my loinite dot grid here, and again, once again, we already know what's in here. Every 20 dots equals 1 square inch. And so, again, identifying my main area of interest of this ribeye, I'll place it on that ribeye as best as possible to cover as much as I can. And in this case, it appears that that 3 square inch ribeye is what I want to use, and then I will count everything out on the outside. And then I'll tally up to come up with a ribeye size in square inches. And so lambs are pretty simple. I will also take into account conformation. So what does conformation mean? Conformation means actually the amount of muscling to this whole skeleton. It does not have to do anything to do with fat. It's all about muscling. And so how do we know we're dealing with muscling? Well, remember, muscle is what gives shape, not fat. And so basically I'll look into the width, the plumpness, the amount of volume on this leg. I'll stand back and look at the overall conformation and looking at that outline, the silhouette kind of thing. And color will be taken into account as well as quality. And so, as you can see, once again, percent sellable product keeps repeating. As you hear me talking, it's all about the percent sellable product, because the more I can sell straight off that carcass, the more money I can make. The more that I remove off that carcass, the less money I'm going to make.